All right, which brings us to our guest today, the one and only Mr. John Trumpy. How are we doing?
I'm good and I'm ready.
Ooh, look at that.
I converted over to the flavored, I'm a little older, so,
Okay, very nice. Is that like, did I see, is that like tangerine?
Yes.
I have never tried one of those. Is it pretty good?
Oh, it's good. It's good.
I'll have to try one. I like it. Well, John, first and foremost, thank you for being back. You've been on the show now at least a couple other times.
Yep.
And for those who might be watching right now, who maybe don't know who you are, don't remember, would you mind kind of filling us in a little bit about yourself? I do see Adrian in the chats, talking about, your battle you had.
Well, I came in second with Adrian, but this time of the year, I'm taking it as silver medal.
Okay, so hey, that's fair.
I'm a silver medalist, and I'm not the biggest loser anymore. I am the silver medalist in that competition.
That's fair. That is fair.
Here tonight, I am here as the president of the ALOA Scholarship Foundation. I also serve on the ALOA board, which is a totally separate organization. People don't realize ALOA Scholarship Foundation and ALOA are two separate organizations. They are not the same. We share a name, we share some other resources, but other than that, we are two separate organizations. Yep. I serve on the ALOA board as the president of the ALOA Institutional Locksmith Division. I serve on the committee, the convention committee. So I do have some news on that if you want it.
Oh, absolutely. I am here for it, John.
All right. As you know, Las Vegas next year.
Or this year.
This year. Yes. Yep. Yeah, this year. And then we're going back to Chicago.
We're going back.
We have not been in Chicago in a very long time. It is official. We are going back to Chicago. We just signed the contract the other day.
Well, very cool. Thanks for
you once again have a scoop.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I like it. That's cool. Well, I'm excited to get back to Chicago next year. So, I've been to Chicago a few times now. I've always really enjoyed the city. And I love that random side note, but they have that like industry museum there.
The Industry Museum. They also have a really, really cool down on Naval Pier. They have a stained glass museum that is just like open. As you walk through Naval Pier, you can just walk through lots and lots of stained glass. And, I don't know if you're into stained glass, but it's just cool to see what has been done throughout history. And it's
That's really cool. Yeah. So I was in Chicago last in 2024.
Okay.
And I had my wife with me. And although I had been to the Industry Museum, I was like, my wife was like, listen, I got to take you here. It is awesome. You're going to love it. And so we go there, and something that they had from the last time I had been there, which was when ALOA was there in 2016, 17, 18?
I don't. At this point, I kind of forget when I was at these things,
Yes, but they had a U-boat there. They had a U-boat. It was the first U-boat captured in World War II, and you could take a tour through it. It was really awesome. It was really awesome. But, that's really cool. Now, John, I have to ask, you rattled off the stuff that you're a part of. Mm-hmm. You love volunteering, right? Because like all of those positions that you just talked about are all volunteer.
I cannot say no when it's servicing the industry. I mean, it's, giving back.
Yeah, that's a lot of volunteers, and that's pretty amazing, that amount of stuff that goes into it. But
I'm still in my office at the University of Pennsylvania. I'm not volunteering here during the day, but this is what pays for all the other.
Yes. Hey, you have to draw the line somewhere, right?
Yes.
Well, perfect. All right. Well, yeah. So tonight, John, what I want to do is I want to bring you on, and I want to talk about the ALOA Scholarship Foundation and ASF and kind of deep dive into that. Now, I do have to say, right, since the fall, I'm a board member on that.
You are one of our two newest board members. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Happy to be involved with it. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that as we get going. So
yeah, I think it took us almost a year from the first time I texted you and says, hey, would you be interested?
Yeah.
on a Saturday even, and you got and then it took time to roll it out. It is a small board, so.
Yeah, and it's been really fun, kind of getting to understand everything and how it works and the process, and I really do like it. John, if you can kind of walk us through what is the ALOA Scholarship Foundation?
Okay, so the ALOA Scholarship Foundation, as I said, is not part of ALOA. It is an actual 501c3 organization. It is a charity.
Yep. One
of the best things about it, though, is we are one of the leanest, meanest charities out there. I believe on any of the navigators, the charity navigators, we're ranked at 98. We're right around maybe 99%. All the funds of ASF goes to providing scholarships.
Yes. Yeah. Right. So like the board member position I have, the position you have, these are all volunteer.
100%. It is I refer to it as a zero compensation board. You're not submitting receipts. There's nothing like that. None of that is allowed. I'll say, I've already told you, I'll buy you a cup of coffee, but that's the most you're getting.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good there. Yeah. So, all right. So John, I want to transition in here and start talking a little bit about, let me see here. There we go. Who can apply and what that kind of looks like, for someone who's maybe wanting to get into the locksmith trade, maybe someone who wants to advance their skills, and who should think about applying. And then here in a little bit, we'll get into how to apply.
Okay. So it's real simple. Everyone who has a legitimate financial need should apply. We are there to provide the financial support. Now, as you can see on the slide, we also provide not just the tuition, we also will provide travel and hotel. So anyone looking to advance their career, and the other thing is people think that these scholarships are only for ALOA. Of course, they're available for SAFTA, which is a sister organization. They're available for the automotive division, but they're also available for any other legitimate, recognized education program out there. Your local association, if you need help taking one of their classes, we provide scholarships for that too.
Yeah, absolutely. So is what you're talking about is besides the ALOA umbrella of organizations for safes or for autos or for the standard locksmithing, if there is a distributor trade show in your area or a different organization like the Yankee show or whatever.
The Yankee show, we have provided scholarships to Yankee in the past. Yes.
Yes. And so if you're looking at wanting to go to one of those to get training, you can. So it doesn't just have to be an ALOA event.
Yeah, it can be any recognized industry event.
Absolutely. Now,
shouldn't say event. We're not going to pay someone's way or buy their floor tickets to just walk the floor somewheres at a trade show. It has to be education. So let me make that clear. It has to be a class or classes.
Absolutely. So it's one of those things that, if there's some sort of training involved where you can learn a skill or get a certificate, or whatever it might be to continue your education, as long as it's somehow recognized as a legitimate event.
A legitimate event, yes.
Yes. And I think that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people sometimes don't realize is that it's just not for ALOA itself, right? Because
the sharing the name helps us and hurts us at the same time.
Absolutely. Yes. But now let's just say, John, that maybe someone's watching this right now or later and they're like, John, I think there's an event that I want to apply for. Is there any way someone can figure out if it's before they were to fill out the application, a way that they could say, hey, is this an event that is possible that maybe I could attend?
So you can always contact us. Now, ironically, as I've been pushing the fact that they're two separate organizations, the way you get to us is through the ALOA.org website. So you go to the website. ALOA gives us space on their website. We're small, so it doesn't really cost anything. You can go there, go to the ASF page, click the link, send an email. You will most likely be getting Dawn Chandler at ALOA. She funnels most of the information, but she would then shoot a message out to me, and that would do it. Or I can think of another wonderful way. You come here to this YouTube channel and you send a message to you, and you could easily say, yeah, that would be an acceptable thing or stuff like that. I mean,
sure. Yes, that could also happen. Now, John, like, so again, just for everyone watching right now, I kind of want to just give a few examples and kind of make people feel kind of more comfortable about this. So, like, let's say that there was an event going on and maybe there was some free or very low cost training, like maybe the class was only like $40, and they're like, listen, the $40 isn't really that big a deal, but I have to, and I can drive. It's going to take me, 2 hours to drive. I can do that, but I really can't afford a hotel room. Can I just apply and say, hey, I want to go to this event, but I just need help with the
So what we would do there is, even though you can afford the $40, we would pay the $40 and your hotel.
Okay.
Because that way we know you're going to go and show up.
Sure. Fair.
So
absolutely. Okay. So that's what you can apply for if you are wondering. And now I want to talk about how to apply. As a matter of fact, you'll see a link in the comments already. You go to actually ALOA's website, and which is aloa.org/scholarship. Mm-hmm. All right. So that's where you go. You click, you'll see a button, I believe, depending on the device you're on, it's on the middle left side of the screen, and you can click apply now. John, at this point, you're going to click, and when you hit apply now, it's going to bring you to a Google Doc, right?
Yes, the application.
And I have the link. Where is that at? Right here. Let me actually copy this really quick, throw it in there. All right. So yeah, there's the link for the application there. You can download, fill out. And John, I think one of the biggest things is like just kind of fill people in with what's going on here, which is this. There's some documents that you're going to have to fill out.
You're going to have to fill out, yep.
And then what's going to happen is you're going to mail them in, right?
You can mail them in. There's also, you can email them in. We may even have fax still available. I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that one, but you're going to send them in. All your documents that you send, and I'll go over the documents in a second, are all then put into a thing called a binder, which is basically a little booklet about the applicant. And then those binders get sent out to the board to vote on. Now, I have to say, one of the easiest ways to not get a scholarship is not provide all the documentation. And that documentation includes a photo of yourself. So people have done everything, filled it out fantastically, and then don't send a photo. Now, we're not looking at your picture saying we think that person looks like a good applicant, but we do publish your image in like things like keynotes and stuff like that. So that is what the photo is for.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So you'll do that. So you'll gather up all the information that's in the PDF that you download. And at that point, you're either going to mail it in to the address that's listed on the next page that you can't see in the slide here, or you can scan it all and send it in via email.
You can send it in, yes.
Now, John, something I want to talk about with this, though, is like the importance of planning ahead, right? I have that note on here. Make sure you plan ahead and you give enough time for approval. Can you kind of walk us through that process just so people who might be thinking
for the conventions, which would be the ALOA convention, the SAFTA convention, the automotive convention, maybe Yankee would be on that list if we've got a lot of applicants, you need to give us a lot more lead time. And I think it's 90 days before the event.
Let's see.
Oh, I'm sorry. We do not have fax anymore. Someone has said that.
Okay. Yeah. No fax.
We do not have a fax machine to send them in on anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is something that it is important to make sure, though, no matter what the event is, that you do need to plan ahead a little bit, of course, not only for the travel reasons, but even if it's in your area, right? Like maybe you live in Vegas or close to Vegas and it's an easy drive. Even though you can get there quickly and decide you want to go quickly, you still have to go through that approval process.
You got to go through the approval process, yes. And the reason we have a longer lead time on the major events is the sheer number of applicants. Okay, so it's like this thing just popped in my brain all of a sudden. It's 75 days for an ALOA event, 40 days for other industry events.
Okay.
So if you're doing your local association or Yankee or something like that, it would only be 40 days lead time. And like I said, that's simply because of the number of applicants we're getting.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to explain that what happens when I send these out, but I tell every board member, your one duty that above all others is read them, read the letters, read the endorsements, and then vote your feelings, vote your idea.
Yep.
So these are a couple pages of information. So we do need to have time to go through it and digest it. Dawn, myself, Vern often are looking at these through the filling process and as the paperwork's coming in to make sure that it's coming in, making sure deadlines are, and that all takes a little bit of time.
Sure.
If I gave you a shorter time, you'd want 2 cups of coffee, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? But perfect. So I think we've hit it pretty good, John, on as far as like what that might, look like for someone for the different events they want to attend. I do want to just take a few minutes though and really talk about the fact that that it is okay. Like if you want to improve your education, if you want to further your career in locksmithing, if you want to start a career in locksmithing, and you need a little bit of extra help to do that, that is what the foundation is here for. So don't feel too prideful or embarrassed. It is okay, and at all times in every one of our lives, we could use a little extra help, right?
So we're not judging anybody on what their situation is. We have gotten applications for people that it's like, wow, I didn't think this person, where I've known them in the industry for a long time. And, 2 people just starting out.
Yep.
And I got to say, it's one of the other things to get yourself, make sure that your personal statement is a personal statement. We want to hear, tell us why you want to pursue a career in locksmithing, why you need the money. Tell us that. Tell us in your personal statement. And then you need also 3 letters of endorsement or people recommending you. 2 of them can be anybody, preferably not your spouse, because they will not ever judge you well. And then one of them has to be in the industry. Someone has to be a locksmith. So it can be a local lock shop. It can be someone else in the industry, but it can also be your supplier. If it's one of your customers, they can ask, your sales reps to write the endorsement, but one of them has to be. A few years ago, we had a young lady applying, and she didn't know anyone in the industry. She cold walked into a local lock shop and asked them to do a letter. And I'll tell you, that was impressive, to just cold walk into a lock shop of people you don't know and ask them to write. And they wrote in the letter, we don't know this person, but she came in here, asked us to do it. They were an ALOA member. They were familiar with ASF. They literally wrote that in their thing. And I think from the board, it was, we all felt, wow, she really went above and beyond to get her letter from within the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, it's what it does. It shows ambition, right?
It does. It does.
And it's the same ambition required to where if you want to learn a new trade like locksmithing, or you want to improve your skills, it's that same ambition where, it's going to require, you to get a little uncomfortable and solve the problem. Right.
Yes.
And there's one thing we know in just trades in general. I mean, they're essentially solving problems.
Yes.
So
we want to make sure that you really, we are, the board is responsible for protecting the funds of the thing. We don't want to just give it out to people that are not worthy of it.
Mm-hmm.
So just tell us why you're worthy of it, and we'll happily help you out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. John, do you have anything else to add on this point, or we'll move on to the
No, I think we're good at this point. Is there any questions? I can't see the chat. Is there any questions?
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of questions, actually. Let me see here. Yeah, you know what? Adrian has a good little comment here. He says, the scholarship will get you to the events where you meet people that will help you long after the event is over. Absolutely. That's kind of like the number one thing, John, and I know you've talked about it in the past, but kind of the people you get to meet at these events is really the best part of the event.
That's shifting hats. Take off the scholarship, put on the convention chair.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. The best thing about ALOA conventions, I might add, is the networking.
Mm-hmm.
It's the talking. It's the, a conversation with you walking down the hallway to breakfast. It's the networking is absolutely fantastic at any industry event. I mean, we all should be going. We all spend too much time online. Get out there and meet people.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so going here, it says, what if you have no locksmith experience? I have plenty of locksport experience, but that's not locksmithing. I only wish I had mentorship or at least the means to travel to out of state.
Okay, so that person falls into the category of everyone. But tell us that you want to pursue a career in locksmithing. Tell us what you'd like to do. No, we're not going to pay to send you to a picking class. There's enough conventions out there to have that. Go to Hope in New York. You can learn lockpicking. But if you're honestly trying to become a locksmith, tell us what appeals to you. Tell us why the industry appeals to you. What do you want to do with it? So absolutely, that person could absolutely pursue a scholarship.
Absolutely. Okay, here, let's hop into the next section here, John. I want to switch gears now and talk about what if maybe someone has been a locksmith for a long time, or maybe only a little bit, but they feel the need where they would like to help others. Maybe they were a recipient in the past. Maybe this is the first time they heard of it, but they want to help others. John, I want to talk about how it is possible for people to do that.
Okay, so it is the whole other side of the thing, as you're aware, being on the donor committee. I was a mistype of donor committee at one point, but it will ever remain donor. Yes, we do have a responsibility to keep money coming in. So if you're looking to give back to the industry, I always tell people, teach a class, mentor someone, take on an apprentice. There's a lot of ways of giving back. Answer questions online, answer questions in a chat of a YouTube video. There's 100 ways to give back, but if you really want to help move the next generation of locksmiths, there is no better form than the ALOA Scholarship Foundation, because literally you are helping the next group come up behind us. So.
Absolutely. And so how you can donate if you would like to, but you'll see a link in the chat where you can go to the ALOA store, and then you can see there's the 3 options on there, although you can add quantities for either a $25, $50, or $100 donation.
Yep.
And of course, as both of us, a part of the organization, we would appreciate that if you feel like that's something that you would like to do.
Yep.
Although, and now, John, I do want to shift a little bit, though, because there's definitely a lot of different manufacturers in the industry who watch the show and all of that. And I want to take a minute to talk about, for maybe a vendor who's watching this, wink, wink, Ilco, JMA, Freeman, DTEX, you name it. If they would like to make a product donation for the annual.
Okay, so that is the other way. So donating to the website is one way. Mm-hmm. But if you're at the ALOA convention, we have a booth there. And you can go there and buy raffle tickets for a safe that is donated every single year. You can just donate money into the bin. There's ways of donating. If you are a manufacturer, Ilco used to be one of our largest suppliers, and what they used to do is they used to give us refurbished machines that we would then do a silent auction. Any manufacturer that wants to donate product that we can auction off, we will accept and auction it off at one of our at the convention.
Yes. Yeah. So that's another. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good point. So there is a ASF booth at the ALOA convention. So definitely swing by, say hi to John in particular, right?
Oh, Vern works the booth. So say hi to Vern.
Yep. You can donate products, and people can make donations on the spot as well, right, John?
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. We will take cash, credit card, major appliances with receipts. We don't care. We will take your money. It all comes in. You can also donate at the kickoff party. There will be a gentleman walking around taking donations. This year at that kickoff party, we will also have a way for you to scan a QR code and directly donate into ALOA Scholarship Foundation. So we will make it as easy as possible to take your money to give to the students.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if that's something that seems like a good idea to you, or something that if you're watching and like to contribute, that would be awesome. As John talked about in the beginning, almost all of it goes, 98% plus goes to students to better their.
It's also tax deductible. We are a full 501c3 organization.
Yes, John, I'm glad you bring that up.
Any donation you make is tax deductible, not as a business expense, but as a charitable donation. It is 100% tax deductible.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And you know what? Thanks for bringing that up. I did see that in the comments, and it triggered another comment I saw just a minute ago, which was, let me find it here, because as I go to speak, John, I'm like, oh no, did I read that right? Where is it? John, do you need to be an ALOA member to apply for a scholarship?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely not.
Or to donate?
Nope, absolutely not.
Yes. So you don't need to be
So
either.
if you go to the ALOA store, there is a open to the public side, and there's a member side to the ALOA store. Yep. Our donations are on the public side.
Yep. Well, perfect, John. Well, yeah, that's all I have. Is there any final?
So let me just bring up one other one.
Okay.
When you fill out your ALOA membership dues, there is a box on the bottom that you can add additional funds and donate to ASF.
Okay.
So there are many ways of giving us money.
Yeah, there's many ways. If you would like to contribute to it, that'd be awesome. But if you would like to apply for a scholarship, that would be awesome. So we're thankful and
definitely come by the booth. And it's an AMSEC safe. AMSEC has been backing us for years. It's a nice safe. It's a large safe. It's
that's great.
Either sell it or use it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, John, any closing thoughts here as we kind of bring?
When you apply, please make sure your applications are completely filled out. I will warn you, we require tax information. Some people don't like providing that. They'll send us their W-2. That doesn't give us enough information. We need the W-4 to make sure the household income is. We want to know how many children you have or dependents you have, because that shifts financial need. So please make sure it's all provided, because I have seen so many times a really good applicant that just doesn't get some part of it filled out.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry to say, but you're asking for money. At least take the effort to do all the parts.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I mean, on the board side, right, it's important that we're good stewards of the money. And so, we have to have the information to make a good decision.
So, well, let me ask you, what's your experience so far? You've been through a round of voting, and you've been through one board meeting. You'll have another one tomorrow night, but.
Yes. Yeah. So I've been through 2 rounds of voting now, and then, one board meeting, the other one, tomorrow. It's been good. It's been I've really enjoyed going through the applications and getting to understand the people. And, as you know, in so many of my notes, it's so many of them, it's been really encouraging to see them, face some of life's obstacles.
Yes.
But still wanting to push forward and are interested in either in locksmith or wanting to, expand their career. And probably the most impressive thing that I've really enjoyed is how many people have befriended local locksmiths that, has led into jobs, has led into their advancement and learning a different, area of skill. And so I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed being a part of that and seeing people, keep pushing through, and getting some extra education.
Yeah, I just want to point out that, you talked about the reading about people's hardships and stuff. That is 100% confidential. Nobody gets that information except the ASF board. No one. And we hardly share who's on the board, let alone nothing about an applicant tells us ever leaves that group. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
And it can be very inspiring.
Yeah.
Heart-wrenching at sometimes reading about the people who are applying. And hey, if you make me cry, you get the scholarship. It's that simple. I count the votes,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's been really cool. And, like for me, I love being able to be a part of helping or allowing people to be helped getting stuff done, and learning additional skills and all that. So
you were definitely, like I said, it took me a year to get on because we're very limited spots on the board. And then you left the board meeting, and the next day I've got a 10-page email thread from the committee that you didn't even know you were on. And then all of a sudden you got thrown onto it. And, I know you're trying to run a company, you're trying to run multiple companies, and you just dove right in. It's like, well, what if we did this? What if we, So, on the money collection side, that was, that was inspiring. I got to thank you for that because you didn't hesitate. You shined as you always do in this industry, but don't let that go to your head.
Yeah.
You definitely, as any of your viewers know, your personality. But you were like, oh yeah, and I know, and I'm thinking, doesn't he have a company to run too?
Yeah.
This is the volunteer end, but you were sending emails that and it was impressive.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I had a good time. I had some thoughts, so I was glad that I was able to share that.
Yeah, and it's a board that really cares, so you can see that.
Absolutely, John. Last few final words here from the Iowa Lock Doc says, hey, John, 1,000 thanks for joining tonight and spreading the ASF word. We actually have my dad here. Dad, what's up? Pete. He says, if it's tax deductible, paying the taxes, I'd rather help someone get started. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
And we have Block Pro of Kentucky. Thanks, John, and all that ASF does. And Mr. Adrian says, thanks, John, for all the info and effort in the industry.
Thanks, gold medalist.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Yes, and little Lockboss. Yes, real quick. Does the scholarship cover travel expenses? It can. And when you apply, you can apply for travel expenses.
So you have all the information, your address, phone number, all that stuff is in the header. Directly below that is a long line. We ask you, can you afford to get yourself there? Can you afford housing when you get there? But on that little line, you want to write what you're applying for. So, and sometimes we award more. If we really see a thing, we'll offer more. Sometimes you don't get what you ask for too. There's plenty of cases of that. and then you decide. We like to see some skin in the game too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we like to see the commitment, both in your thing and what you're doing.
Absolutely. Well, very good, John, man. You know, it's been going, what, about 48 minutes now.
48 minutes, yeah. And 10 minutes in the chat before that trying to figure out sound. So,
yes. Yes, yeah. For the record, everybody, before we were going live, John was here, had everything set up right. I couldn't hear him. I was blaming John, but it was actually me having sound muted. So I apologize, John, for that, but Lily to the rescue. Lily, thanks for that.
Yeah, she fixed it. She was telling you how to fix it in the background. I could tell.
Yep. Oh, yeah. She was like, can you try hitting that button?
And I was ready to be here yesterday, too.
I know. Yes. I even messed up more. I told John, it was yesterday. Oh, man. I tell you what, you have to have a lot of patience with me, John, I guess, but
you're an old dear friend, and watching what you're doing with ASF now, you're the tops of my book, dude.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it. But well, perfect, John. I know it's getting late your time. I'll let you go and have a good evening. And I know we'll be chatting tomorrow.
We'll be chatting tomorrow. Yeah, another. Not like you have anything else to do, but tomorrow you will be at an ASF board meeting. So.
Yep. All right, John. Well, hey, thanks for being here, and take care. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you. All right. All right, everybody, good stuff. I'll tell you what, that's good. I hope if you have really been looking at wanting to get some training, some locksmith training, and can't afford it or need a little bit of assistance with that, please go ahead and apply that. I sincerely mean that. And I'm rooting for you. All right, I'm rooting for you.